If we pay extra, could we maybe get some grease or fat?
OMAD, today I am having 2 T-bone steaks, which according to their packaging is about 2.2 pounds of steak here. I ate yesterday right around noon. Today it's a little before 11 o'clock, but I've got to get out of I got to go, ultimately is what it is. So I've got to get this food prepared so that I can eat it and go do what I got to do. See, this is the hard thing about OMAD, is a lot of people are trying to figure out how to work this around their workday. And for me, the idea of eating first thing in the morning makes the most sense, because then the rest of your day is whatever you want to do, except that you get cravings at night. Now, if I can push my OMAD closer to lunchtime, it seems to be a little easier, but it really depends on the demands of your day. If the demands of your day don't allow for stopping to cook and eat the meat, or at least preparing it first thing and then warming it up at the middle of the day, then that may not be the best functional solution for you. But you've got to find the best functional solution for your situation. For me, today, that's going to be eating a little earlier than I would like to. But I also found that I've been doing great at night. I haven't been having cravings. Occasionally, when I used to eat some snack carnivore crisps, I could eat a whole bag by myself, although most of the time I had other hands reaching in there anyway. Now a couple of little crisps and I'm fine. It's like it gets me past that need for crunch, and then I'm okay again. So it's just something I guess I need a little crutch to get past. And some people don't need those crutches. I guess I'm one of them. But maybe you need that help. Maybe you need that slow transition past always giving in to what your immediate gratification wants so that you can get your long-term gratification. So today is also an exciting day because I am going to the library. I never thought I would think that that was the exciting thing to do, but right now going to the library for me means that I can get internet. It's like being able to breathe again when you haven't had air. And I am gonna lug my entire iMac and all of my files up to the library like as biggest nerd in the world, setting up an office up there, because I've got to get caught up on all my bills and all my reconciliations, but I've also got to get video downloaded. If you know anything about working with video in the cloud, it can be a big pain in the butt if you haven't had internet for 3 months on some of your devices. And all of my iPhoto stuff is backed up to my iMac, which hasn't been connected to the internet since September, and here it is December. So it's an exciting day. We're also pouring cement today, so we got to be available for that. And just looking forward to some good things happening today and staying on my 1 meal a day diet. So it's a big, exciting day. I'm just looking forward to getting back on not getting back on track, but getting back to where I can really do some of the work I've been wanting to do. And I want to ask you, if you've been enjoying any of this content, please hit the like button, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't already. I'm not going to be able to help more people if more people aren't watching. So be sure to share these videos and see what we can do together to make everybody just a little better. Got the concrete poured. I was away at the library when the contractors came to do the pour, but they did a great job. And then we're gonna put in some screened walls, and we'll have an outdoor kitchen area here that won't be quite as open as this outdoor kitchen area. All right, so I'm back for our 1 meal a day challenge. Today is December 3rd, Friday. So tomorrow will mark 3 weeks of 1 meal a day. And today, I plan to have a ribeye and a T-bone steak, and then I'm gonna make something else, one of these other pieces for my wife. But that's gonna be it today: a ribeye steak from Walmart and a T-bone steak from Sam's Club. So it's a little over 2 pounds of meat here if you include the bones. As always, I'm gonna salt my meat with plenty of salt. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Usually a little more for good measure. I like it to look nice and evenly covered. When you have fine crystals like this, though, they tend to blend in with the meat really quickly. So you want to go ahead and kind of get you a standard number you're going to use for a certain amount of meat. And this is about 1 pound per piece here. So about 22. if I turn this thing roughly 1/3 of a turn from being a full rotation, that was what I call one turn. And then I do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 is usually enough to get good coverage on everything. And then I can take the sides and pick up any salt that fell off the edges with the fat on the edge of the meat. The salt is very important for having energy on this diet. There's the ribeyes ready. The T-bones ready. And you got two different sizes of meat here, so I just kind of guesstimate my judgment that this is about 1.5 pounds. This is a little over 1 pound for this one. So since 22 worked for 1 pound over there, about 25 should work here. And then over here, we're gonna do about 30. All right, now I got that pounded in. And we'll flip this one over, pat dry my meat. And when I cook these, I'll cook the smaller ribeye here, which is the one on the right, with the larger T-bone steak at 400 degrees for 8 minutes on one side and 9 minutes on the other for that amount of meat, roughly. Again, this is not... That's not down to a science. That's more of me just kind of getting a feel for the way I cook my meat. And those should come out pretty good. So OMAD went quite good all day today. I still feel full. Here it is nighttime. I notice if I get a little hungry or if I get a little bit of an empty feeling at all for a moment, I have a good chug of water, gone. Just like that. This is a tiny little bit of T-bone that I had left over from yesterday, and this is a ribeye that was left over as well that Katie had a little bit of. So I'm gonna reheat that, and then I'm also gonna heat up for Katie a regular grass-fed ribeye, and then I'm gonna have one more to go with mine. So that'll do my OMAD. So this plus one of these, which is about 9 ounces, plus this, I guess 2 pounds, still roughly 2 pounds of meat. Should be enough to get me through the day. We'll see how it goes. Bottom line is that today I woke up at 3:30 in the morning, and by 6:30 I was hungry. And it is 7:51 right now. I'm ready to eat already. So for some reason I wasn't able to make it till lunchtime today. But hopefully that doesn't mean I won't make it until supper without being starving. So we'll see how it goes. But I got one bag of Carnivore crisps left, so I've got a parachute if I have to get out. All right, so let's reheat this first, because then I can get started on eating this right away. Just as a quick reminder, I go through about 2 of these 2-liter bottles of club soda every day. I don't drink a lot of regular water. I like club soda because it gives me that soda flavor, and I know it's not the best for your stomach, but I do it anyway. I usually put them in these 1-liter bottles just for convenience, and it keeps them colder. I like the glass. I like drinking out of glass better. Preference, that's all. You don't have to do that. You do however you want to do it. But you got to drink lots of water on this diet, and you got to get plenty of salt. But I'll tell you, I love my salt soda, as I've come to call them. It is my favorite flavor of soda, no doubt. Yeah, I know. They use vegetables with meat. How dare they, right? Well, here's the cool thing is I went to Sam's. I mean, not Sam's. I went to Walmart, and they had a bunch of meat that was dated for today to be frozen or to be sold by. And none of it was marked down, but they got different percentages off. That's what's so funny. Like this one was about 30% off from $17.07 to $9.22 for a T-bone, and then this was a cowboy ribeye.
What?
This one got about 40% off from $17.71 to $11.16.
I can do it by myself. Knees, then lift with your chest.
No, you went from lift with your chest.
Okay. Good job.
I'm talking to the camera.
Oh, I'm sorry. Don't talk to me. My apologies.
Will you take those to the freezer on your
No,
way
you
over
gotta
there?
show them because you want me in there.
Yeah, well, you're in there.
No, I'm not.
You're in there now. We're still going to have this in the
No,
video.
we're not.
Every bit of this is
No,
going to
we're
be in
not.
there. Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
So we got New York strip steak, from $22.70 to $14.98. And this is the best part. Prime ribeye from $14.21 to $9.80. From $14.69 to $10.14. From $14.69 to $10.14 again. Wow, what are the odds? Exactly the same size. And from $15.01 to $9.91. That was even a bigger discount. How strange. Why was that one bigger discount? And then from, this was the biggest one. From $36.41 for 3 big ribeye steaks down to $20.75. By cooking early and often, you can cut some cost by getting the food immediately and then cooking it or freezing it so that you can eat it relatively soon. Or, you know, once you put it in the freezer, it's pretty much going to be there. Just want to make sure you put it in good packaging if you're going to keep it for a long time. Today we're going to cook this leg of lamb, and I am going to start by using some ghee to get the sear ready. Scoop some ghee out of the jar and then set this on saute, and I set the temperature down to medium and then I hit start, and it's been going for a few minutes, so now it's ready to put the meat in. Just got to let this ghee move around inside here a little bit. So we're going to take this leg out of the net that it's usually wrapped in. Boneless leg of lamb. And put it in here for a few minutes on each side. Let it sear. Oh, a big piece. Ooh, there we go. So now we're gonna flip this over. It's been 6 minutes. And you can see we got a nice sear going on this side here. Oh, there we go. I'm gonna let it sear on that side for 6 minutes. All right, so 6 more minutes have gone. So we've got it seared on both sides now. So we're gonna go ahead and add some water here. I didn't put the salt on yet because I don't want to wash all the salt off with my water. Now, if you weren't doing Liondiet, you could use some chicken stock or maybe some other vegetables here. You know, it just depends on what your diet calls for. And the water's about halfway up the meat, so that's enough. It's a little more than I needed, really, but all right, now I'm gonna take some salt and coat this top surface really good. Let that soak deep into the meat. That's a good bit of salt. Now that we got that meat in there and the salt is in, we're gonna go ahead and seal this lid on. We're gonna set our setting over here to vent so that we're not doing pressure cooking. And we're gonna come down here and set this to slow cook, and we'll set it to low, and that should do 8 hours, and we'll see how this comes out. I'm gonna be having ribeyes today. This is a pretty good deal here. Oof. All right, so we preheated here to 400 degrees, got ghee on the inside already. So I can do 2 of these at a time. They take up a pretty good bit of space in this big old air fryer. And we'll set it for 8 minutes on one side, 7 minutes on the other. At 400 degrees. They started off looking like this, and they ended up looking like this. Let's take a look at these puppies. There's my 1 meal a day right there. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Let's see. And this is the edge, and they're still super juicy and delicious. Mmm. Mmm, mmm, mmm. All right, it's been sitting for 8 hours. And I just opened this lid when I realized I need to record what I'm doing. Let's see what we got here. Doesn't feel as tender as I expected it would be. Let's pull this thing. Set it on this plate that's got all this salt on it here. Okay, I was using a ridiculously large knife for this thing, but let's see how it tastes now.
Out the way. You mind if I have a bite later?
It's pretty good. It's tender in some spots. So after 8 hours, it came out good. It's just that I expected it to be softer. So it's 10:30 in the morning on the morning of day 24, and I have the lamb that I cooked last night that I wasn't too happy with how soft it came out, but flavor-wise it came out really good. So what I think I'm gonna do, I even had a piece of it cold just now, and it is quite tender. So no complaints. I mean, it's not falling off the bone tender, but the meat is tender. It's a delicious piece of meat. I'm gonna go ahead and preheat this 400 degrees for 5 minutes so that it'll be nice and warm. I think that'll be enough for a day. I don't know, how many pounds was that? That was several pounds of meat. Maybe I could eat all of that. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some butter, some grass-fed, grass-finished butter, and put it on top of this when I go to put it in the oven here. So that might help soften it up a little bit, get a little bit of that juice sinking down inside there. To get that meat a little bit softer. I don't know if this is the best approach to take. But this is kind of the way I do it every day. I mean, because I'm not a chef, I'm not an expert cook, and I'm trying to add some variety to my food. But I mean, I'm like most of you. I've got used to eating out, got used to eating a lot of fast food, got used to maybe somebody else making the food for me. So this has been a challenge all along, but you know, it's been a hell of a good challenge. It's not a bad idea. Cut that meat in half. Then it'll cook better in the center. Yeah, let's do that. Let's try cutting this meat in half. Let's take this piece of meat back out here. It won't fall. Let's see if we can cut this puppy in half. All right, let's put it in there that way. It's delicious meat. Just like it to be a little softer. And when I'm adding butter, something I like to avoid on Liondiet, I don't want to necessarily add cheese, which is another thing I want to avoid on Liondiet. Although these are grass-fed byproducts, it's not a dairy diet. It's a ruminant meat diet. I don't talk about this in every video because it gets confusing when you're doing an elimination diet like this. But I've added it, you know, I've added butter somewhat back to my diet. I did it at the same time that I added cheese to my diet, and I was having some negative results, mostly weight gain. I could tell because I don't weigh myself hardly ever, but I could tell that my belt buckle, like when I go to put the last buckle on, when I bought this belt on this diet, it was in the middle. Now I'm on the last one on the belt, but now when I do it, it's like, look, it goes past the last dot, but for a little while there, it was stopping right just before it. I was like, uh-oh, I'm starting to put a little weight back on. So ever since doing OMAD though, really, it's come back off, but I also quit eating cheese at the same time. I started doing OMAD, I quit eating cheese. And, but I haven't completely cut out butter. I have reduced the amount of butter. I was putting a lot of butter in my butter coffee that I was having, and now I'm putting like a pat of butter in there. All right, let's see how this came out after 5 minutes of reheating. All right, see now this piece is really soft right here on the end. I barely even needed anything. Perfect temperature. Perfect moistness. Lamb has a unique flavor, but it is really good if it's done right. So we're still doing our walks every day, and we're still getting the, you know, we're getting better as a family eating better, not just me leading the way, that they're joining in more and more. It's a bigger battle for them because they haven't quite made a switch in their mind. Some ways. My wife is getting stronger and stronger on board. She's eating more meat. She eats meat mostly at the beginning of the day and then a little bit less and later in the day. My oldest son is getting on board because even his doctor said you got to really watch what you're eating. So that kind of encouraged him to start doing a little more of what I'm doing. It's just been exciting seeing the progress on the diet, the way my body is changing, the way my family is changing, and the way we're moving forward every day with everything we're trying to do. The most important thing is just making gains every day and trying to be positive in a world where there's a lot of craziness going on right now. I want to encourage you to be healthy and happy. And it starts with changing what's wrong in your world right now. Start taking care of that mote in your eye, that thing that you know you need to be taking care of. Your body, your mind is the first place to start. Then you can start taking care of your family better. You can start taking care of your community better. But you've got to be right yourself. And it starts with diet. What are you putting in your body to make your body function, to make your mind function? It starts with diet because you've got to physically be able to do what you've got to do each day. Then from there, everything else you can start building on. But you got to eat right. You got to fuel this machine. You got to fuel this machine with what you need. And for me, that's Liondiet, baby. And if it's for you, I hope this is helping you make progress on your body and your mind and your path that you're on. Helping you make progress down the road you're trying to go down. Stop making excuses for why you can't do it. You can do it. And today's the day. So screw it. Get up and do it.
If we pay extra, could we maybe get some grease or fat?